If you're dealing with anxiety or anxiousness in your life or any other circumstance, this message might help you. So hear me out. And it might take a little longer, but it's really good. So be patient. Let's talk about Jacob and Esau. These two men were brothers. And Esau was going to receive a blessing from his father Isaac. Receiving a blessing from your father in those times was really important. More if you were a believer of God. So Jacob heard this. And he was, you know what? I want this blessing for myself. So he went into his father's room. He deceived him. He told him, Father, it's me, Esau. But it was Jacob. So at the end, the blessing that was supposed to go to Esau went to Jacob. And Esau heard this, and he was angry, and he wanted to kill his brother. So Jacob had to flee. The beautiful thing about this story is that these two brothers, in the future, they reunite. And as soon as they're going to meet each other again, without seeing each other for a long time, Jacob was expecting the worst, because he remembered what he did to his brother. He remembered that his brother wanted to kill him. So sometimes that is us. We expect the worst in our situation. We expect the worst in our circumstance. You don't know how to pay for your car. You don't know how to pay for your house. You have a family member that is sick and you don't know if he or she is going to be healed. Hear this out. When they meet each other, Esau went running to Jacob and he was smiling. And he went and he hugged Jacob and they both cried. The Bible tells us that when Jacob saw the face of his brother smiling, it was as if he had seen the face of God. And that's the hope that we had to have in our life. That in the midst of our circumstances, that in the midst of our situation, instead of expecting the worst, we should be expecting to see the face of God. We should be expecting to see the hand of God move in our life. So, there's a big but. But what if God doesn't answer your prayer? What if God doesn't heal your family members? What if the circumstances become even more stronger? You have to understand that God allows things to happen in our life for a reason. So I'm gonna give you another story. The story of Joseph, Jacob's son. Joseph was sold into slavery by his 11 brothers because they were jealous of him. When he was sold to slavery, the Bible tells us that God was with Joseph. So God allowed this. So as the years passed, Joseph was working in the house of this man. And this man trusted Joseph with everything, except one thing. Obviously, his wife. So the wife goes and tries to sleep with Joseph. The Bible teaches us that Joseph ran away. He did the right thing. He did not sin against God. But the wife lied and told the owner of the house, the husband, that Joseph wanted to sleep with her. So Joseph went to prison for 2 years, even though he did the right thing. And the Bible tells us that God was with Joseph. So God allowed this. Why? Why? Because we know this story. At the end of the story, Joseph went all the way up to the second in command of all Egypt. From prison to having authority over the whole city. And this was thanks to the circumstances that he had to go through. Sometimes we are ungrateful and we tell God, then why am I going through this? What am I supposed to do in this situation? Sometimes we are only supposed to have faith in God, that He is with us. God, thank you. I'm grateful for this situation because He has allowed me to be closer to you. So if you're going through a moment of uncertainty, where you don't know where your life is going, and you're expecting the worst, look at the story of Jacob, that he saw the face of God in his life. If you're going through a moment of anxiousness and you don't know what to do with your life or why you're going through these situations, look at Joseph. that in every situation God allowed in his life to happen, God was with Joseph. There's another story, the story of Lazarus. Mary and Martha sent a letter to Jesus, and they told Jesus, your friend Lazarus is dead, has died. He has died. So Jesus, instead of running immediately to them, the Bible tells us that he waited 2 days. So Mary and Martha, maybe they wanted things right now, in this moment, they had to wait in God's timing. We need to wait in God's timing. Sometimes the answer is not a no, but it also is not a yes. It's a have patience. So when Jesus goes and meet Martha and Mary, they go to the cemetery, to the tomb where Lazarus was at. Now, in those times, the tombs had a door, and the door was of a stone. So Jesus told Martha, Martha, I need you to move the stone so that I can enter. Jesus could have done it himself, obviously. But he told Martha, Martha, I need you to take action. And Martha hesitated. He told Jesus, he has been dead for a while, and the smell is horrible. Jesus told Martha, Martha, did I not tell you that if you have faith in me, if you believe in me, you're going to see the glory of God? So Martha went, he physically moved the stone, and Jesus did what he had to do, the miracle. Sometimes in our life, in our heart, in our soul, we have a stone, and Jesus is telling us, you have to remove that. That's not something I can do for you. Either you let me in and let me do what I have to do, or you let me out. Sometimes it is more than just receiving a miracle from God. Sometimes it is allowing God to enter and purify us and take the things that are not doing any good to us. So, just to summarize, remember Jacob, that he was expecting the worst, but he saw God working on his life. Remember Joseph, that he didn't understand the situations he was going through, even though he was doing the right thing. But God was with Joseph, and in the end, thanks to his circumstances, he was able to have authority over a whole city. Remember Martha and Mary and Lazarus, that they had to wait on God's timing, and they had to take action and allow God to enter, just like you had to allow God to enter. So, hopefully this message helped you. Hopefully it's going to be a blessing for your life and a reminder that God has not abandoned you, He has not forsaken you, and He never will. In these times of uncertainty, the best thing we can do is have patience and keep having faith in God. Amen.